Hi, my name is Alexei, and you're with Scuttlebutt.
Hey, I'm Jay, and I'm also with Scuttlebutt, and we went out to see The Predator 2018.
Do you think that's one of the movies you would recommend to see with your friends?
No.
So let's talk about what went wrong with the whole Predator movie.
Yeah, I'm going to say, in all honesty, I went into this as a big Predator fan with lots of expectations. I've been around since the old PC games of Alien vs. Predator. I've been a big fan of both the Alien and the Predator franchises, and I just didn't like this. It felt dumb.
It felt not right. It felt far stretched with the characters, weapons, aliens. It just didn't add much to the whole franchise.
It was a Predator film that never predated.
Yes, there was no hunting experience that in the previous movies. Even let's take a look for the EVP2 or the first one. It had the Predator feel. This one just doesn't.
Well, yeah, because the movie is just constantly a big, giant, dumb action fest. So the film opens up, giant space battle, crash, boom, explosions, guys shooting. Here's the funny guy, here's the support characters. They're all funny, here's some quips, more action scenes, a little bit of exposition because the story is so thin, full of plot holes, no one knows what's going on. Action, plot, dumb. And the Predators are just always running around in full view, having full automatic fire fired at them, and it does nothing.
The Predator seems like tanks. They don't seem like something fragile that can be hurt. And if the Predator is feeling invulnerable, what's the point of watching that? You know that he will succeed anyway. There is no drive behind it, so to say.
Yeah, and a lot of it was also plot convenience. Like, when they introduce the Predator, it comes through, big, badass, rips apart two members, and then suddenly it gets taken out by a mistake because the guy fell over and knocked off some equipment that took him down. But then the rest of the film, it's just an indestructible killing machine until a bigger Predator turns up and wastes him.
Seems like everything goes in convenience for the good guys, so to say, when they start dealing with the Predator. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right at all.
Oh yeah, well the guy going through, like the main cast here, the main character is essentially the Doomslayer. He's just mad, he's indestructible, there's no point he's ever not in control, and then he's chasing down a monster that's also indestructible, that seems to have perfect understanding of human culture. Like, this film is so dumb that everyone wants to be the funny guy. You've got a whole 6 supporting cast with the 2 lead actors, and they're all playing the funny guy in a different way. And even the Predator is trying to play the funny guy, making little jokes and stuff for it. He's not speaking it, but there are actions going out through the film. Like, there's a point where he severs off an arm, and he's in the back of a truck, and the driver's like, "Oh, is everything okay there, lads?" And what does the Predator do? Slides in a severed hand with a thumbs up to let him know that it's A-okay.
The director used to be in Predator first one, and I think his comedy role from that movie transitioned to the new one as well. And I don't think that's the right direction to go for the Predator franchise. It seems like he just turned it into the big old comedy show without any point. And
well, yeah, if you like the new Transformer films, I'm not talking about 1 and 2, but I'm talking about all the most recent sequels, then you'll probably like this. It's big, it's dumb, it's loud, there's constant action, and there's the only times that you ever have a moment to breathe is when someone's given a bit of exposition that you don't really care about, and then it's back into the big action scene, followed by another one of 6 characters whose names that you'll probably never learn, making another dumb quip, which just really breaks the flow of the film. And it just feels so out of place that everyone wants to be the funny guy. Everyone is an action hero, and then you've just got the regular army that are made to look like useless fodder, but the Special Olympics Special Forces are unbelievably amazing.
They made the soldiers to look like they're just the puppets. The meat to be slaughtered. And when you call for the special guys, the only special thing about them is that they're insane, and that apparently makes them a super soldiers of sorts, a wonderful predator killing machine unit, so to say.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't mind the fact that the US military gets fodderized by the Predator, because that would be like the Predator's super advanced aliens, but then it's the fact that you have the 6 crazies along with the main character and then the supporting female lead. And for some reason, they're just more powerful than all of these special ops trained forces. They're better, they're in better shape, they know how to take down the Predator. At no point does anyone make a human decision. They see an alien running around killing people, and they're like, "Oh, well, we were on the nut bus, let's chase it down and kill it."
Yeah, man, yeah, it's not really the thing that we wanted. I mean, if we take a look at it, I like the weapons of the Predator, to be fair. I like the weapons of the Predator, but there is a slight small thing that really needs addressing with that.
Yeah, it's the weapons are cool and all, but it's the way they've changed the technology. Now, the Predator lore is not something I've ever gone too deep into, but from what I understand, in the original film, it was their armor gave them active camouflage that refracted light, and then they found out later that it was the helmet that controlled it, and now it's a weird little orb, the size of a marble, that anyone can just hold, and it completely camouflages
Let's
them.
go for a bit of a spoil. It's just an anal bead.
Yes.
A magical anal bead that grants you invisibility.
The anal bead of invisibility.
And it's not the only stupid thing that we see in the movie. Let's talk about the shoulder cannon that explodes your own head.
Okay, yeah, so the main human villain knows everything about the Predators. He basically serves as exposition, because the Predators have subtitles so the audience can understand their motivations, but apparently he can read it when he's off screen, and he just turns up to tell all the characters what's going on in the film, why the first Predator came here, and why now there's a second super Predator here to kill it. And it's basically that the Predators have come to Earth to steal our DNA, to hybridize their species, because the reason they hunt isn't for trophies. They collect spines now to take out their DNA to evolve their species. They've gone from the sports hunter predator, as the joke they like to make into this, to actually, no, we're bioengineering our own super soldier race. But yeah, it's just strange. It's the way they completely changed. And the character here, he knows how to use their weapons. So he has one of their cannons, and he's fighting the Predator later on. He's got this shoulder cannon all set up and linked up. And someone calls his name as he fires, so he turns his head to look left, and then blows off his own head. And it's just like, the only character here with a personality or any depth, you just wasted in the start of the third act. And they're trying to set up a sequel, quite obviously, with the endings. Why would you get rid of the only interesting characters?
Again, another meaningless death. Same goes for the first Predator, he died quite anticlimactically.
Yeah, so the first Predator is that he's not really predatoring. It gets knocked out by Quinn, the main character at the start of the film, and then he's getting experimented on. The second Predator comes down, and the Quinn's son, who has super autism powers, has ended up with the Predator's technology, and he's controlling the second ship with the first Predator stuff. So apparently all Predator technology is now interconnected, and all of them can control each other, which how the first Predator was even being fired at by the second Predator's ship when it could have controlled it to begin with is a completely different plot hole. But yeah, so then this first Predator who was hunting them, you find out he wasn't hunting humans, he was actually there to help humans, but it makes no sense why he was then murderizing all of them. But then the second Super Predator turns up, which is an 11-foot full tank, behemoth, biogenetics. It's like prototype, this thing. It's crazy. Then just manhandles the first Yautja and then just caves in its face with its bare fist. And then it just goes on a murder spree, like super brutal, wasting everything. He has bio-metal armor that comes out of him, and all of his technology's built into his eyes, so he doesn't need a helmet. So he can active camo with no technology, and he can see thermal with no helmet. So it's basically the god mode of Predators.
It looks like it's an American mixture. You take a movie, you pump it full of steroids, what you did with the Predator, bigger explosions, bigger this, bigger that, bigger this, and what we get? We get a paste that is not really digestible.
Yeah, everything's too hard, too fast all the time.
Too hard, too fast, too much to digest. Shove it in your mouth, shove it in your mouth. Look how cool it is, look how beautiful it is, but it isn't. It follows nowhere, it leads nowhere, with the comic relief characters that as blank as the plank.
Yeah, it's hard to think, what was Shane Black thinking when he wrote this and then did it? Because they had to do a lot of reshoots, I'm told. So what was the objective here? You make the original Predators, that people who love the franchise, useless. They're the meek versions. You then create a super Predator, which never predators. He's a hunter. He just comes and he wastes everything. And then all of his cool weapons and gadgets now built into his body. And then you find out that the whole plot here is the Predators have come to Earth to steal our memes because they want to grab our autistic kids and then add their DNA to their collective because they're the next stage in human evolution, as this film tells us.
So apparently the Predators wants to be autists.
Yes, they want to become 4chaners. They saw them take down Al-Qaeda cells and they're like, yep, that's the only part of human we need. We need super Predator incels.
I lost, my friend. I can't understand where they're going with this. Did they want to make a comedy? Did they want to make an action movie? Did they want to make a movie about values of life? Because it doesn't lead nowhere. Let's put up a comedy one. It's comic relief is bland. There is nothing in it. Action, yeah, it's quite beautiful, but it serves no purpose again. Do they want to make a connection with the father-son type of thing that it's important? No, it doesn't.
No, there's just everything is just happening. Everything's too fast paced. The first 2 acts are just constant action and excitement. The third act, it makes out that now it's time for the film to finally Predator, because the super predators defeated the humans. There's 12 of them left. It's taken over its ship. It's destroyed the gift that the first predator wanted to bring to Earth, because the first predator wanted to help save us. Second predator just wants our autists, and then he decides that okay, now I'm going to hunt. So it's like, yes, we're finally there. We're finally ready for the Predator film to Predator, and then it doesn't.
No, what they do? They take a gun and they shoot the predator. Oh my god, it's bulletproof. How? Like, we didn't know that already. No, apparently now our bulls can find some.
Yeah, they find a way to somehow then take it out. Basically, the autist kid uses the own predator's ship to use its shield to cut off its arm, and then they use his own weapon to blow apart the predator, and eventually they then kill it and take it out. So then we find out what the big reveal at the end of the film is. The second predator wanted to come steal our autist to create a super predator autist hive thing. But the first predator was here to give us power armor. So the Doomslayer of the main character will have his power armor with his 1,000,000 laser cannons that point in all directions.
Guys, do you know the director of this movie is actually wrote and directed Iron Man 3. So he couldn't leave that without this movie without the Iron Man suit, and that's what we get.
I think that's where he wanted to go. He wanted to make Iron Man 4, but it's going to be Predator 2.
That's actually pretty much explains the whole movie.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3.5 or some sort.
God, but without any of the personality characters or quips. The whole film is big, it's bland, it's dumb, too much is happening. I went into this as a massive Predator film. I didn't want it to be bad. I wanted it to be good, but I don't know what purpose he wanted it to serve. Everyone is trying to be comic relief. Everything is big, dumb, and explosions. And I just can't say I'd recommend the film. What about you?
Nah. I might watch it on my popcorn-infused extravaganza, but nothing more. Nothing is it. If to summarize the whole thing, weapons, yeah, beautiful. Predatory, maybe not so. Predators, yeah, beautiful. Predatory, maybe not so. People,
no. It would have been better if it wasn't a Predator film. Just make it another Alien and it's there to do it. But that's all I've got to say on it.
Yeah, I don't have much to add, my friends. Just don't watch it. Save yourself the money.
Wait for it to come out streaming. Well, this is the first video on Scuttlebutt, and if you like it, give us a like, leave a comment if you want to give us some improvements, and if you fancy seeing some more content in the future, we'll be doing more stuff if we can build up subscriber base, where we'll see more films, review some games, maybe to talk about some news, what's going on. But till next time, I'm Jay, I'm out.
I'm Alexei, I'm out.